I am sharing my family spaetzle recipe. There's quite a bit of German in my dad's side of the family, and this recipe's been handed down and down through generations. I personally love spaetzle, and I love to make it. It's something that's very easy to do, very approachable for somebody at home. All it is a potato dumpling that you end up boiling in some water. So it's very simple. It's going to start out with just doing about a cup or so of all-purpose flour, just regular flour. You add a pinch of salt to it, some salt and pepper, and then fresh nutmeg is kind of that secret ingredient that we don't always think about putting in our pasta dough or our dumplings, but it's really going to make a difference for the end result. So a nice amount of fresh nutmeg. Now if you don't have fresh nutmeg, you can use the regular grated nutmeg, but I advise you to go invest in some fresh nutmeg. It's got some really great flavor to it. It really pops a little bit more than the stuff in the jar that's already pre-grated. It's going to mix those spices on into the flour. And then we're just going to make a little well in the center of our bowl here. And we're going to put 2 whole eggs in to that 1 cup of flour or so. And then, as my grandma always says, just add enough milk until it comes together. Really what that comes out to be about 1/4 of a cup of just regular whole milk. I'm just going to break up those eggs a little bit and add that milk. And just with a wooden spoon is how I was taught to do it, so that's still how I do it. And we're just going to mix the flour in. You can get creative with the dough at this point. You could throw in different seasonings. You could put Italian herbs in here. You could have some grated Parmesan into the batter. But the thing about the dough is that you want to make sure it rests before you actually use it. So this process you want to do in the morning before you go to work, or maybe the night before, or first thing when you get home, because it needs to rest for a good hour or so before you can actually put it into the water. All right, so now once you've got your dough together, cover it in plastic, put it in the fridge for 1 hour, at least 1 hour. It can be overnight or longer. And what I've got here is some dough that I made earlier today. So we're going to go ahead and use this one because it's rested and ready to go. The next key component to making spaetzle is going to be a spaetzle maker. You don't have to run out to the store and go buy one. You can use a regular strainer for this. It's going to be just fine. You want something with a large hole. So if you have a couple different strainers, look for the one that's the largest, or you can go out and purchase one of these. They're under $20 and they work really well. This particular one has different sizes, so it fits on many different size pots. And what you want is just a pot of boiling salt water. You're going to set that spaetzle maker on top. The spaetzle maker comes with a little plastic device, metal device to kind of press it through. You can use just a spatula or anything you have around the house. You don't need to go out and buy one of these special. And we're just going to take all that dough and we're going to press it through those holes. Again, you can do this with just a regular spatula. Just going to keep smearing it through the holes on the top. And you want to work quickly, because if you think about it, you've got steam coming up from the bottom that's starting to cook the spaetzle batter that's on top of your strainer here. All right, so now once you've got it completely through, and the nice thing about spaetzle is it cooks really fast as well. All it needs to do is come up to a boil. They'll float onto the surface. Give it a little stir here, make sure nothing's stuck to the bottom. Perfect. You can go in here with another little strainer, a little mesh, or just a slotted spoon would work. And you're just going to pick it on up. Set it into your serving bowl. And this can get served as a side dish. It can be put with a stew if you want to mix it in with a stew. My grandma used to make soup with it. A lot of different variations. You can serve it just as this, or you can make this a day in advance or with your leftovers the next day. Take a little butter, put it into a saute pan, put the cold spaetzle into the saute pan and saute it up. It gets kind of crispy and brown on the sides. But other than that, that is some spaetzle. It's fantastic. It's my grandma's favorite recipe, and I probably make it at least a couple times a month. Thanks, Amy.